All right, this isn't, it's not drag week, not yet.
Not even close.
But we were down in New Hampshire working on a friend's 1970 Challenger. We're installing a Holley Terminator sniper kit on his 440 big block car. Thing's pretty sweet. Just started, he found these, like the same way a rivet works when you suck the pin of a rivet down and it pulls the backside tight. It's a fuel bung that you tighten up the same way, and then you take the bolt out and there's another set of threads for an AN fit-in. This is what it looks like. You bought two just in case we screwed one up. But so you take this bolt out of this side, put it on the bottom side, and it sucks this down, and it works really well. The part number, it's a Phytech part 50004-9. Pretty awesome. We'll see, we're about to make some AN lines, starting from the back of the car to work to the front, and see if it leaks, but it looks like it seals pretty damn tight up there. It's pretty awesome. Cool start.
Okay, how you doing?
Alright, look at all this stuff.
Okay, cool. Alright, how you feeling good?
70 fuel pump stuff, or fuel lines out on the floor. The AN line. We just ran one test line just all the way along, but we're gonna mount the fuel pump up here. So that'll be nice out of the way. We're gonna run the AN line along the inside of the frame rail and up to the front. We're gonna mount the regulator up on the, can't really see right now, but it's gonna go up on up on the firewall. Then we'll return back to the tank, and it's gonna go. We got an AN back to barb fitting adapter, so we'll run just like 4 inches of rubber line, and that'll complete the fuel system. We'll run a little jumper, make sure we don't have any leaks, and that'll be it for the fuel system part of it. And then it's all the wiring, and you'll see here for first startup when we see. It's always fun to share that. Alrighty, it's like 7 o'clock p.m. now. We got the fuel lines all done. They are fuel regulators mounted. We just pressure tested everything. There wasn't one single leak, which is crazy, doing the whole thing. So that's kind of a first. So that's all done. We got the O2 sensor bung welded into the exhaust. I should have taken a picture while this thing was all up there. But we got that all done, and the O2 sensor is in there. We ran the wire from the fuel pump up to the front here, so we can run that from the Holley to that wire there. And we're about to drill a hole right here on the firewall, and we're gonna run this whole harness inside there, mount the computer and everything. But we just got to the point where we're gonna start to add to slide the distributor in. They give you this really neat cap here that you need to set on the distributor, and that is basically how you zero this thing out for the fuel injection. The problem is, you can see down inside there, that's the little groove that aligns the distributor on the cam gear and oil pump. And when that's where it's at, the only way that this would be lined up for number 1 top dead center is it would smash these bolts on the edge of the distributor into the head. So that's not good. Now this is the first big block Mopar I've ever worked on, so I'm going to try to reach down in there with some long needle nose pliers and see if I can lift that gear up off of the cam and spin it so that the oil pump groove is lined up in a different location, so I can move the rotor, which should all be doable, I would imagine. But we'll see. I know, like on a Chevy, you can just lift that rod up. On a normal distributor, like on a AMC and everything, you can just spin it with a screwdriver, and then you can lift it up, rotate your rotor wherever you need to, and set it back down. So we'll see. That's what we're gonna try, and we'll keep you posted. Okay, so to answer that question for anybody who wants to know, who hasn't done this, it does lift out just like a GM. And so the bottom is octagonal, right? Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Octagon's 8, isn't it?
It's Alan.
It's Alan! It's whatever the 6 is. Don't remember. So this was like this. We need it like this, but we're gonna have to go a little bit past that so it actually drops into the oil pump again. So we're gonna have to get a little playful here, but we'll get it. Just, it's nice to know that it can move. Alrighty.
Let me at least brake clean it. Sorry.
This is really neat. So, learning stuff here. This guy, the way that the MSD setup is they give you your distributor, obviously, that you put in, and they give you this cap. And since your rotor is locked into your cam gear, it can't spin, but the body obviously can. But this cap has the bump outs on this bottom right here that is for those pins right there. So you set this on. We already did this. You set this on and rotate the actual body until, voila, that fits perfect, which is really neat. So now Ben's cleaning up a 300-year-old hold down, and we're gonna put that in here, tighten that up, so now your distributor is completely synced with the fuel injection setup, and the motor is at top dead center. That's an important piece if somebody's installing a Holley system here. You gotta set
the hole.
You gotta set your distributor at top dead center, which, yeah, down past the fan here. Can you see that? Yeah, see the line and the hole, they're lined up. And what we did before, just, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can put your finger over your number 1 spark plug, but since this was already a running engine, the easiest way is to find your number 1 spark plug wire, follow it to your distributor, which it was down here, so we knew that this was number 1. So you just take the cap off and you make sure that the rotor is facing where number 1 is. That's how you know you're at number 1 top dead center compression stroke. So that was our first step. We did that. Now we're tightening this down, and this is all synced. On my dad's engine, we had to set the timing actually on the we had to make a mark. Luckily his harmonic balancer had it, but we had to set his mechanically to 50 degrees or 55 degrees, something like that. And then we had to spin this. It had a bunch of pickups and electronics in the distributor that we had to spin it until the light came on, and then spin it back a little bit till it came off, and then back again till it came back on, and that was syncing the distributor. This way is pretty easy, so that's pretty nice. So now we're gonna move along to eating steak and then stuffing the wiring harness in through a hole in the dash that we're gonna make. Pretty cool stuff. All right, Sunday morning, I totally forgot last night to take a video of our progress. But fuel lines are all made, regulators mounted, the power and everything, all the lines are run. Got a grommet on the firewall there, and everything's mounted under the firewall for the computer, and we got a little distribution block for everything key on. And then I took a relay, and we took battery 12 volts and then a 12 volt key on and cranking power to power the relay, so everything will be clean 12 volts from the battery on that little 12 volt strip he has under the dash. So now anytime he wants to add anything that's key on 12 volt power, he has an entire distribution block too, which is sweet. We had to add a power lug over here because there was so much stuff on the factory power lug for the starting solenoid as well. So we got everything, all our constant 12 volt stuff. We got some grounds hooked up. Ben's making the spark plug wires now, some Mallory wires. We got the Hyperspark distributor all in and set. We talked about that last night. Coils mounted, ignition box mounted. So we're making good progress. Once he gets the spark plug wires made, we did fuel tests. We did have a leak on this area here last night, so I remade a couple of these lines and ends to fix the leak. So that's all done, and We need to hook up the fuel pump wire, hook up the O2 sensor, which is already all welded and that's all in. The O2 sensor wires in. We just need to plug it in, zip tie stuff out of the way, and then we'll be ready to calibrate and start. So, knock on wood, things go good. Cool 440 Challenger. Oh man, I'm so bad at this. What were you saying? It's most what temperature was?
220 is on these is where they get cranky at.
Okay. So she runs. She runs really good. We had to dial the IAC in, and when I set this thing up, for some reason it did not save when I set the Hyperspark setup, so we had no spark at first, which was a little scary. Then I went back in and had to reconfigure the firing order, what distributor it was, the base fueling. I don't know how it lost all of that. But man, does it this thing is running fantastic. So Ben is pretty stoked. It's way better than it was, and everything seems to be running great. We're just letting it sit with the open loop closed loop learn on, so it's making some big adjustments fuel wise. It didn't have anything for a 440, so I just loaded a 454 base tune basically, changed the ignition, changed some things, but the timing, when we looked up what they want for timing, it's about the same timing tables, so that's why I did that. And we're just gonna let it learn and change its fueling. So it's definitely making adjustments already. Originally the headers were getting a little hot, but now it's richened it up a lot. It was quite lean. So things are sounding good, looking good, and we did it all before 2 o'clock, like I said before, and I had to leave. So this is fantastic. Short, nice little weekend video of doing a Terminator Stealth conversion on a 440 Mopar. Ooh yeah.